Welcome back to J&K Workshop. On today's video, we're going to show you how we made this pine tabletop. So we're starting off by joining up some pine lumber I had laying in the shop for a few months. Some of these had some pretty nasty twists and bows in them, so that process took a little bit, but overall it turned out pretty nicely. So this is the Wahuda 10-inch bench top joiner. It's pretty cost effective and works out great for me. All right, now we're planing the boards down to their thickness. We ended up finishing them up around 1.25 inches, and that's just so that I can go through all the sanding grits and get to a final dimension of about 1 inch for the tabletop's thickness. Next steps, we're just trimming the boards down to their final width, which is going to be 5 inches. We've got 8 of these boards, so that we can end up with about 40 inches in our final width. Now it's time for everyone's favorite tool, the domino. Like it or hate it, it does make things a lot easier. I'm using it on the second loose setting. I'm just using the dominoes here for alignment. I'm not using them for strength at all. Now time for the fun part. Lots of gluing, lots of dominoes. So really not trying to put a ton of excessive amount of glue in the inside. On a couple of them you'll see that, you know, when we put the dominoes in, so we did get some glue squeeze out. That's okay, but you really don't need to put that much in there for them to be nice and strong inside there. They're, like I said, they're not adding a whole lot of strength. We're just using them for alignment. They're honestly not needed at all if you build up your boards well enough. I just like the added security of the domino with aligning boards. Now we're just gonna put everything together and get it clamped up, and we'll let it sit overnight. It was really sat for about a total of 24 hours, and then we are removing the clamps, and we'll trim off the ends and square it up before we take off all the rest of the clamps. we didn't get footage of it, but after Paulina sanded a little bit of the top, spent about another 4 to 6 hours or so of sanding through the grits on the top and bottom. Started off at 80 and went up to 220. Then it was the time for stain, so I went ahead and stained the bottom and then the sides. So we're just going to flip it over. Some of the stain that dripped off, I'm just going to kind of rub off the excess and then sand it down. And then we'll get the top stained up, and then let that sit in for about 15-20 minutes. That varies based on how hot and humid it is or cold it is outside. And then we'll wipe off the excess there and let it sit overnight to dry for about 20. Now I'm just going through with the microfiber, dusting everything off, dusting the table off, making sure I don't have any dust or anything on there before I go through the finish process. For the finish, I'm using Waterlux Original. So I pour that in a cup, and then I just use a lint-free rag and wipe that on for the first couple coats. Let that sit and let it dry 24 hours between each reapplication. But absolutely love Waterlux. I mean, it's a completely waterproof finish. I mean, once this thing is cured, I mean, I could pour a glass of water on top of the table and all it would do is pull up, and I could just wipe it off. None of it's going to seep into the wood as long as you apply your finish properly. And there we have it. A nice new modern farmhouse kitchen table. We just repurposed the base from an old table we had. It looks great.